Let's be totally honest with each other for a second here. Are you secretly settling for average? In the source material we're exploring today, we're hit right out of the gate with a pretty tough question. Are we just making excuses instead of actually pushing for our phenomenal potential? We love to tell ourselves we're working hard, but a lot of the time, we're just comfortably coasting at 70%, sitting around wondering why we aren't seeing 100% results.
Welcome to This Explainer. Today, we're taking an hour of just raw, high-octane motivational truth from Eric Thomas and distilling it into a structured, step-by-step roadmap for real personal transformation. We're grabbing those massive paradigm-shifting ideas and putting them right here into a clear guide so you can see exactly what it takes to activate your own beast mode.
Okay, let's jump right into this. Listen to this brilliant quote. All men are created equal. Some work harder in preseason. Man, that really hits the nail on the head for our core theme today. Ultimate success, it's not about where you start. It has nothing to do with the hand you were dealt or your natural talents. It is entirely about the invisible, totally unglamorous work you put in when the stadium is empty and nobody is watching you. That preseason grind is where the real champions are made.
All right, Section 1, the trap of average. Notice how these effort levels are separated here. Hitting that 70% or even pushing to 90%, yeah, that might make you good. You'll probably pay your bills and live a totally decent life. But to get everything you actually dream of, to truly walk in your dreams instead of just sleeping and having them, you've got to smash right past that average threshold and hit that phenomenal 120% mark.
And getting to that phenomenal level, that requires a complete mindset reset. You have to stop playing the victim. Look, maybe it didn't come from a picture-perfect two-parent background. Maybe the economy is a mess. Maybe your resources are stretched incredibly thin. But as the source points out, you're a grown adult now, right? The decisions you make today are on you. You have to stop operating out of desperation and take absolute, uncompromising ownership of your actions.
Which leads us perfectly into Section 2, finding your internal why. Picture your morning routine for a second. When that alarm starts blaring at 4 a.m. and your body is practically begging to hit snooze, what actually makes you stand up? Your internal why, whether that's your spouse, your kids, your community, or just the future version of yourself, has to be dramatically louder than your desire to sleep. If sleeping feels better to you than success does, well, your why just isn't strong enough yet. The crucial step is figuring out what pushes you to that 120% level. The speaker from our source material explains that he hits 120% specifically because he is fighting to make up for the profound deficits in his own community. He's literally grinding for the absent fathers or the exhausted, overworked moms who only have the physical energy to give 50%. His why is so much larger than himself. So what's yours?
Let's move into Section 3, the lion and the gazelle.
This is a real game changer of an analogy. Every single morning in Africa, both the lion and the gazelle wake up running. But why are they running? The gazelle is running away from something just to survive. That is external motivation. But the lion wakes up running because it's internally driven to eat. It is on the hunt. So you have to ask yourself, are you a gazelle who only runs when your boss or a deadline pushes you? Or are you a lion waking up hungry to hunt for your goals?
And this right here is exactly why external motivation eventually fizzles out. If you only put in the work when someone is dangling a carrot or prodding you with rewards, you're going to stop grinding the very second that external push disappears. A true lion doesn't need a coach yelling at them to hunt. They hunt because they are absolutely starving for success.
Next up, Section 4, trusting the hidden process. Think about this surprising question from nature for a minute. When a lion is born, it's just a tiny cub. It definitely doesn't have that massive, ripped, muscular frame. A baby giraffe doesn't look anything like a lion either. So how does that little cub physically transform into the king of the jungle? Actually, scratch that. It's not just about the meat they finally eat. It's the intense, incredibly repetitive process of the daily hunt. Enduring the struggle and the chase itself is what literally builds their physical power. Every single time that lion goes on a hunt, whether it catches a meal or goes hungry, it is developing. Putting in those hidden reps is what actually builds your strength. I absolutely love this phrase, execution is worship. What this profoundly means is that you have to fall in love with the boring, unglamorous process. You have to love studying the game film, lifting the heavy weights, or reading those books in a dark, quiet room just as much as you love the trophy. Executing those daily, repetitive tasks is exactly how you honor your ultimate goals. And let's be real with each other, that process is going to hurt. But if you're already hurting, if you're already totally exhausted from the massive trials you're facing, why on earth would you quit now? You're already in pain. Push through that immense pain to make sure you actually get a reward out of it. Use the pain as leverage to keep going. Which brings us to our final core idea, Section 5, the price of phenomenal. Consider what a phenomenal daily timeline actually looks like. While average people are whacking the snooze button and complaining about their 9 to 5, the phenomenal individual is already up at 3 in the morning. They're putting in hours of intense, solitary work before the rest of the world even stirs. They stay disciplined even when no boss is looking over their shoulder. To maintain that kind of intense timeline, there are some non-negotiable sacrifices. You have to be absolutely willing to ruthlessly cut out the things that are draining your potential. We're talking sacrificing your comfort zones, turning off your cell phone entirely, or maybe even walking away from comfortable friends if it means hitting your breakthrough. It really boils down to one ultimate, uncompromising law of transformation. You cannot take your current habits into your future success. You literally have to let the lazy, easily distracted, average version of yourself die so the phenomenal, unstoppable version can be born. But here is the secret to that big breakthrough. The source material emphasizes that 90% of the journey is just showing up. It's doing the exhausting physical work, going to the classes, reading the books. But that final, grueling 10%, that is where the actual breakthrough happens. And that last 10% is entirely about unrelenting mental toughness. It's fighting through when your legs are giving out in the fourth quarter. When you are in that final 10%, let this rhythmic, undeniable mantra echo in your mind. This mantra was literally forged in a hospital room by the speaker's family in the face of a terminal illness. It's a total refusal to accept defeat. You have to stand up, physically proclaim your victory before it even happens, and decide right now that failure is simply no longer an option. I can, I will, I must. So I'll leave you with this final provocative question. What are you going to do the exact second this explainer is over? Are you going to go right back to scrolling your phone, playing the comfortable Gazelle, settling for a 70% life? Or are you going to immediately activate beast mode, write down your grand idea, and finally get to work? The choice is entirely yours.